We've known now for weeks that Texas is one of the hardest hit areas in the country when it comes to COVID. I want you to take a look at what is happening right now in one particular county to deal with the massive rise in cases and hospitalizations. Starr County Health Authority on Tuesday implemented an ethics committee and a triage committee to review all coronavirus patients as they come in to determine what type of life-saving equipment and treatment they would likely require and whether they would likely survive. Those deemed too fragile or sick or elderly will be advised to go home to loved ones. There's nowhere to put these patients. The whole state of Texas and neighboring states have no ICU beds to spare for us, says Starr County Health Authority Dr. Jose Vasquez. So there are so many people coming in, they simply don't have the resources or the beds to take them. They can't send them anywhere nearby because those are all full too. So now they have set up a panel to decide who gets treatment and who gets to just go home and die with their families.
So they're panels of death.
Mm-hmm.
Death panels. Well, that only exists because of our universal healthcare system, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we don't have that.
Yeah.
So death panels happened in a way consistent with how they've always existed, by the way.
Yes.
Or actually, this is a new one. This is mismanagement and lack of space versus, we just don't want to give you service because we don't have to, according to our business model.
This isn't a money-saving measure. This is we literally have a bed that many people need. We have to decide who would it actually help to put there. And I'm not, by the way, I tweeted about this, and if it seems like I'm criticizing the doctors, that's not what I'm doing here. I'm criticizing the government that made the situation that resulted in this area 5 months into the pandemic being so hard hit that they have to make these decisions. And this is one county, but many other counties are going to end up in similar situations. I have a family member, I'm not going to go into details, on a ventilator right now that might not be able to stay on it much longer because there's a limit on how long you can stay on it. Partially because there's so many people that need those ventilators in this particular state that is the hardest hit right now when it comes to this.
And that was the central argument behind closing things down and putting social distance orders. Everyone who said, we just got to let everybody get it and it'll pass. Well, more people will die if you overload the system with too many people needing medical equipment that doesn't exist. And not to mention, and every bit of it underscores a policy failure from the president, because all those bits of medical equipment, the kinds that could flatten the curve, he failed on. The testing to identify who has it and what to do with them and tracing, failed on that. The kind of stuff that keeps people alive, can't get it, failed on that. And now he's trying to reopen everything in a way that benefits him personally, but every time he encounters something that could hurt him negatively as a consequence of people actually having coronavirus, oh, well, then I'm going to succeed in that because it affects me. But not really putting together that the best way to solve all this is to solve the coronavirus problem. But he doesn't want to do that because he doesn't realize that his election is related to whether he actually solves the coronavirus problem.
Yeah, he has made the decision. He changes the way he expresses this from time to time, but he's made the decision. It is best to just pretend we've solved it. Yeah. And I just want him to understand, what if you did? Yeah. What if you actually saved lives and saved the economy in so doing?
And the stuff that he's bragging about is so disconnected from the skills necessary to do it. Like, he's still bragging about his cognitive, he's still bringing it up that it was important to talk about, and it's so disconnected, but needs to be absolutely connected to the problem of coronavirus.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to be the guy who reads his tweets, but I imagine a situation. The only reason for Trump to be bragging about his cognitive tests is if the scientists are all gathered around an electron microscope and they're like, oh my God, our computers are down. And the answer is right here in front of us. It's 5 words.
Yeah.
We need someone to be able to remember them for 20 minutes and then we'll solve coronavirus. That's the only reason he should be bragging about being able to remember 5 words, but it's not the case, and he shouldn't be bragging about it.
Exactly. And, Texas has, he's encouraging wearing masks and things like that, which some other governors aren't. But to take a look at the continued mismanagement, Starr County Judge Eloy Vera said he would likely issue shelter-at-home orders for that county later this week. The orders are not legally binding since the governor's reopening orders supersede local authority, but Vera said he hopes residents will voluntarily comply. That's where we're at. I hope that people will do the right thing, because we can't make them, because the Republicans above us are literally stopping us from trying to save people's lives. And we've seen that. It's happening in Texas. It's happening in Georgia. And Donald Trump, while he isn't necessarily doing the blocking, he's trying to block funds during the next round of stimulus. He's not providing leadership. There's literally no strategy when it comes to contact tracing or things like that. Yeah, this is not just a cumulative effect of all of the failures of the last 5 months. It is an ongoing failure today and tomorrow and Sunday and Monday. They're going to continue to fail because they literally don't care.
And it's also, Make America Great Again is rooted in this concept that there was a time when America was better. And that in that time, I've said this before, but like the only thing that they're really talking about must be racial discrimination. Because like, think back to World War II. I remember that my dad told me, my grandfather told him, like, we have to conserve all our, medals and everything for the war effort, and sent the kids out to go find medals to essentially sell to the War Department to make munitions. And people did that. They did that to save the world from stuff far away.
Yes.
In this situation, we are literally trying to save the lives of Americans.
Yeah.
And we can't even do that.
Or won't. We could.
Right, absolutely.
But won't, probably.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.